So one of the cars that I want to introduce everybody to is just a neat story. It's a neat backstory, but it's also a really great car to share with you because we have a lot of documentation. In fact, I think in Graveyard Carz history, this is probably the most documented car we've ever done. And the people that we're doing it for are the original owners. So this is the husband and wife that bought the car in 1968. It is a 1968 Plymouth GTX 440 Super Commando 4-speed car, which makes it just ultra rare. Paint code S, so it's a yellow car. It's got unusual interior, which I'll show you in a little bit. What I love the most about it is the car is pure and original as the day is long. More importantly even, we have all the documentation like I mentioned. We have the original Monroney sticker. This is the window sticker. So when you guys go now and buy a new car and you walk the Dodge dealership for your Challenger SRT8 Red Eye, you'll see a window sticker in there. That window sticker tells you everything the car is optioned with. All right, it even has an MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail price, and it's tied with a vehicle identification number. They did the same thing back in the day. It was mandatory. We have that original document. We have the original warranty card, the quality assurance checkpoint cards for like the water leaks, for the paint prep. We have the key codes, the original key codes, sales invoices from the dealerships. We even have the worksheet for it. Again, the most documented car in our history. So I wanted to take a few minutes, go around the car, and show you what it would have been like back in 1968 to walk on the dealership floor and see the Monroney sticker, the window sticker in the car, and match it up to the rest of the car. Now, the last time we worked on a 1968 GTX, the gentleman's muscle car, was Mr. Bill Goldberg. That was the time he came in here and he was pushing me around in the office. I don't know if you remember that. Playing tough guy on me. And we don't show it because I don't want the liability of it, but I took care of things my own way that time. So go ahead and roll that back, that's fine. His little car was a 68 GTX 444 speed convertible in QQ1 blue. Gorgeous car. Now keep in mind, they only made 375 of those cars, so his is a real rare one. His was not, however, fully documented. It was a numbers matching car and it was a great car. I think it was one of the very first Mopars he's ever owned.
There's a long, sordid tale about this car. I bought it, and then somebody approached me. They really wanted the car bad, paid me a good amount of money for it. Fast forward about 2 years after that sale, I heard that the guy was keeping it outside. So I kind of went behind his back and had my wife go buy it out from under him. Funny story there is she pulls up to the stoplight, and she's sitting there idling, and all of a sudden, a family of mice run out the car. So needless to say, it wasn't being kept the way it should be kept. First Mopar ever had, yeah. Means a lot to me.
But he didn't have the window sticker. He'd love to have the window sticker. The other thing about his car is his was pretty plain. He wanted that car to have manual steering and manual brakes, and it did. Made it a handful to drive, but of course, if you're Bill Goldberg, what the heck? You got the arms to do it with. This little car is actually loaded. All right, so the first thing I want to do is go over the original Monroney sticker. This is what you call the window sticker. It talked about what the car was, what it came standard with, what the safety standard features were, and what options it had and how much it cost. So let's just start at the top. We know by looking at this is a factory Chrysler Plymouth window sticker. In the left-hand upper corner, we got Lynch Road Assembly Plant. That's where the car was built at. That's G code. And on the right-hand side, we identify this piece of paper with the car by using the vehicle identification number. After that, we're talking about where was this vehicle shipped to? It was shipped to Monmouth Chrysler Plymouth Inc. in Eatontown, New Jersey. Same place that it was sold to. So there is your selling dealer. So the folks that own this car walked into that dealership and saw this setting on Monmouth Chrysler Plymouth's showroom floor or on the car lot. Let's talk about the standard safety features. They're listed over here on the right-hand side. You start at the top and you can go right down through there. Every one of those were standard. You didn't pay any extra for them. This large area at the top, before we get to sales codes, is what you're buying. This is what it comes with without any extras on it. It's got the RS23, that means that it's a GTX. SS1, that's the yellow, that's the paint code. Actually comes up at S when you're looking it up in the paint book, and it's called yellow. You see it's yellow. So the S6N, the Sam 6 November, That's the interior trim code, which is really cool on this car. I can't wait to show you. Check out the two-tone, I'm gonna call it a gold. You know, I'm a little colorblind. I don't know what the camera's gonna do. Two-tone gold with these black highlights in it. Absolutely gonna be so stunning when it's done. And you'd think a black interior. You think, oh, yellow car, black out, black stripes, black top, why not a black interior? It's one of the things that caused the guy who bought it brand new almost not to buy the car. And then after he looked at it a couple times, it grew on him. C'est la vie, the rest is history. He's had it for 53 years now. After that, we see that it's a GTX. The following equipment is standard. So it has the rear armrest with the ashtrays, dual horns, vinyl trim. That means the interior is vinyl, not leather. Front foam seat cushion. They were pretty proud of that back in the day. Bucket seats. Bucket seats were standard on a GTX because this was a gentleman's muscle car. 440 cubic inch 4-barrel engine, that's the Super Commando, with a TorqueFlite automatic transmission, standard. That means that the 4-speed manual transmission that's in this car was optional. Red streak tires. This would be a red streak tire. Now you saw those on our 1969 Hemi Roadrunner, you saw them on that. You saw it on our 69 Cuda A57 car, it has red streaks on it. This car also did too. Heavy-duty rear springs, that's the Hemi suspension. Heavy-duty torsion bars, part of that Hemi suspension. Sway bar, heavy-duty shock absorbers, heavy-duty brakes, 70-amp alternator battery, and ashtray light. Okay, those are all standard on it. 83, this top one here, Super Commando, so it's got to call out the engine. And you see there's no money next to that engine. That's because that's standard. 291, which is a solid paint. Sales code 311. That is our body side accent stripe. Standard, no price for it, on GTXs. That's this one right here. These were available in black and white, depending on what they were. In this particular case, it says black. The other cool thing about that is they're reflective. So if you were to hit that with a light, they reflect. It's also a safety feature as well as a really cool feature. Let's check the codes, the sales codes for the options, and see if they're still on the car. 306, that's our vinyl top in black. All right, if you look next to it, they charge $81.60 if you wanted a black vinyl top. Just to put that into perspective, the material alone today is around $350 for a good vinyl top, and it's about $600 to install it. You can see there's remnants still of our vinyl roof. If you look carefully, it's the original grain pattern too. Doesn't take, you know, Einstein to figure out that this top's been on the car a long time. You can just tell by how weathered it is, how brittle it is. See how that just kind of crushes up? But it matches the 306. But it really sets off the side of the GTX, especially against that yellow. The next one, 393, the 4-speed manual transmission. You see that there's no price there? That's what's weird. If you're sitting at home and you're saying, wow, it's a 4-speed car and that's got to be the rarest in the world. Well, in this particular make and model, GTX 440, the automatic transmission was standard. The 4-speed costs money. In the rest of the world out here, 4-speed cars are worth more money, typically speaking, because they made a lot fewer of them in a given model. In this case, 9,771 4-speed models of the GTX were made in the hardtop with the 440, while only 6,902 automatics, which was standard. But to flip the script even more than that, if something is standard like an automatic transmission, I get it. There shouldn't be any extra charge for the automatic transmission, and there's not on this window sticker, as you'll see. But when it calls out the 4-speed, there's no money charged for that. Yet it's an option. So why was that option free? The 408 Sure Grip differential, that means positive traction, as Marissa Tomei would say, and my cousin Vinny, right? Both tires spin. After that is a AM radio that they charged $61.55 for back in the day. AM radio, you had to pay for it. Today, I don't even know if you can get an AM radio. Rear seat speaker, hallelujah, $14.05. One. See, it's not plural. One speaker in the rear and a little fader knob that you can move from the front to the back. Take a look at that thing. Two things that are interesting. One is, why did they only put one speaker in the back of these cars? You can see they ordered speakers, but you only got one. Notice the direction this speaker goes. The oval goes this way, left to right. You go over to the passenger side and the opening for the speaker that they don't even offer goes front to rear. It's lengthwise the other direction. And I'm not positive, But I believe the reason for that, you could have had a rear defroster in this car, and the rear defroster blower would have bolted into that position over there. Power steering was not standard even on the gentleman's muscle car. Right here in black and white, 456 sales code was $94.85. There it is. This is your power steering pump. It didn't have to have that. It's an option still. And somebody did click that option. And believe me, if you've ever driven one of these cars with manual steering and power steering, it was worth $100, I promise. So as far as under the hood options go, that's it for this piece of paper. I just want to point out a few other things because it's so original. You have the original 047 radiator, the original Carter AVS carburetor, original valve covers, exhaust manifolds, master cylinder. The original distributor is still in the car. This heater hose is original. The other one has been replaced. 7-blade clutch fan, still in the car. Everything in this car is original. Another cool thing that is optional that this car has is 486, the console, the center console. That is absolutely one of the neatest options. It has a jockey box in it for putting all your stuff in there. Royal had things he'd keep in there too, back in the day. And they paid $52.85 for it. The performance hood treatment, sales code 508, that's this area right here. Optional, otherwise this would have been completely yellow. How these louvers right here, these inserts, are painted black, and it's a matte black. And then you follow the trajectory off of the ends all the way down here, and then duplicate it on the other side. This whole center section is actually black, which I think serves two purposes. One, against the yellow, it looks super cool. Two is it cuts down the glare, because shiny paint glares where matted paints don't. And that's why this wasn't shiny either, just in case you're wondering. You couldn't get a glossy black hood sport treatment. You had to get the matte black so it wouldn't reflect the sun as much. This is very unusual for 1968. Code 533, headrest restraint. Around January of '69 on production, headrests were mandatory. Prior to that, they were optional. So this was an option for headrests, and it was $43.90. They're not on the seats, but you can see right here, the headrest drop down here. The only other 68 we've had here that have the headrests on it are the folks' 1968 Dodge Dart GTS, the convertible that they bought new. They bought that car and paid extra because they wanted those headrests as well. 536, left-hand outside remote control chrome mirror. They paid $9.40 for that. You're not gonna have an aha moment, okay? It had it. It's inside the car. Actually, it's out in the parts pod right now because the owner of this car started to disassemble it several years ago and then sent it out to us to finish it up. It is drilled for it, as you can tell, and on the interior, if you look, you'll see the hole has also already been made for the remote control. This is really interesting. 580 road wheels. Look here, styled, chrome plated. Styled, chrome plated. That was what the road wheel or Magnum 500 looked like in 1968. And it cost $97.30 extra. The road wheel that you see on this car is not a chrome plated. Sure, the inside portions are. But this wheel requires a beauty ring. This style of wheel, where this is a beauty ring and not all chrome, started in 1969. Fair enough, but we know the car is a '68, so obviously somebody put later wheels on it. No, they didn't. We have actual photographs of the car when it was new, when he brought it home from the dealership, the owner of it, and it had these wheels on it. Now, what's really freaky about that is how would you put wheels on it that aren't even out yet? I mean, I know the answer. It's Marty McFly. You know what I'm saying? You get in that little DeLorean crap box, and you type in August 1st, 1969, first scheduled day of production for Chrysler's cars. Anywho, point being, Marty McFly helped him get these wheels. So that's a neat piece of trivia. Expedite manufacturer certificate, not sure. F7014 Red Streak tires, standard equipment. They called it out here, but you remember up at the top, it said it came with Red Streak tires. They're just calling it out down here on the Monroney sticker. Now, you add all that up, $3,966.95 is how much the car cost. $68 destination charge meant the total for the car was $4,034.95. And so that is the end of the sales code and the validation of our 1968 GTX. You're going to be hard-pressed to find a cooler car with better documentation that's an all-one owner, all right? So with that, I'm going to let Eli start on the disassembly of it. We'll bring one of the dry boxes around, start putting parts in it, and begin the process of restoring our 1968 Plymouth GTX 440 4-speed car. This has been Mopars with Mark on Graveyard Carz. Hello ghouls, Mark Warman here, the Ice Tree from Graveyard Carz. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. We have fantastic stuff coming up, and some of it you've never seen before. I gotta go insult people. Hey Alice!